In 1921, a 27-year-long reign came to an end. The young Cuban José Raúl Capablanca defeated the reigning world champion, Emanuel Lasker, and became the third official world chess champion. It was a shift of generations. One year later, in August of 1922, Capablanca called a meeting in London, where 7 of the best chess players at that time were invited. In the meeting, he drafted the London Rules, which are basically the rules to challenge the reigning champion. The biggest clause of the London Rules was that the challenger had to collect $10,000 to challenge the reigning champion. $10,000 at that time is equivalent to more than $175,000 today. It was an extremely difficult task to gather so much money. It is believed that this rule was added to make it easy for Capablanca to stay on the chair for long. Aaron Nimzowitsch and Akiba Rubinstein, who were planning to challenge the champion, failed to collect the $10,000 and hence never played in a world championship. The London Rules also specified the format for upcoming world championship matches. According to it, the first player to win 6 games in total would be the winner. Draws don't count, which means that the games, if all drawn, could technically last forever. The 1927 World Chess Championship followed this same format, and in fact, it was the only World Chess Championship which followed the London Rules. Russian-born Alexander Alekhine, however, did not have the same fame as Capablanca. His life was very hard. He was a stateless refugee who worked as a film actor and a police detective to support himself before setting his sights on the World Chess Championship. The $10,000 barrier was not something he could overcome on his own. He tried negotiating for funds and even reportedly started doing chess simuls to collect the money. Just as it seemed like the match would not happen, Argentina stepped in at the last moment. The Argentine Chess Club and the Argentinian government offered to provide the necessary funds on the condition that the match should take place in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Both sides agreed, and Argentina was about to host a major chess event for the first time in history. Critics saw Capablanca as a clear favorite to win the match. Their assumption was not without basis, as Alekhine had never beaten Capablanca in any of their head-to-head games. Being Latin, Capablanca was enormously popular in Argentina. He once joked to the Argentinian crowd that if he were to win 5 games in a row, he would intentionally draw some games just to extend his stay in Argentina. The World Chess Championship officially begins on September 16 with Game 1. Capablanca is playing with the white pieces, and Alekhine is playing with black. Alekhine plays the French defense, and Capablanca transforms it into an exchanged French. One of the fatal mistakes came in the opening phase when Capablanca miscalculated and played rook to c1 to defend the c2 pawn, but Alekhine has the opportunity to play knight takes on c2. Capablanca takes the knight, but queen takes on f4 from Alekhine, gets the knight back as the queen cannot be captured due to back rank mate. Winning the pawn on c2 was enough advantage gain for him to win the game. Capablanca loses the first game, but he finds his form and wins the third game to equalize the score. Heading into Game 7, the game was a queen's gambit declined. In the middle game, Capablanca plays bishop to d3 and gives up his g2 pawn for the h7 pawn. Later, he even sacrifices his h-pawn to open up the h-file. The attack that followed was so devastating that Capablanca was 2 pawns up in a double rook endgame. Alekhine resigns, knowing that it's unlikely that Capablanca would bottle this. The score is 2-1 for Capablanca. But this lead was not to last very long. Alekhine wins Game 11 and then Game 12, where Capablanca reportedly said, "I cannot recognize myself as the player who lost a game." As it seems, Capablanca's grip on the match was falling. Moving into Game 21, the score was 2 for Capablanca and 3 for Alekhine. The game was Queen's Gambit declined, again, for the 19th time. Alekhine was putting pressure with the black pieces, and Capablanca was on the defensive side. Then came Move 31, Knight to d4. This was a huge blunder by Capablanca, as after trading the knight for the bishop, Alekhine has knight takes on e3. With a discovered attack on the queen and an attack on the rook, you cannot simply trade the queen and take the knight, as you would still lose the rook. After knight to e3 by Alekhine, Capablanca resigned on the spot. He did manage to win a point in Game 29, but then Alekhine wins Game 32 to make his score 5. Alekhine now only needs to win a single game before Capablanca wins 3 games, as the one with 6 points is declared the winner. As per historical sources, Capablanca had written a letter to New York to arrange a rematch before Alekhine had won the last game. The point came in Game 34, which was, unsurprisingly, a Queen's Gambit declined. They had played Queen's Gambit declined on all games except for the first and second. Capablanca, playing as black, was playing the game till the last moment, as this was looking like his last game as a world champion. Alekhine slowly and steadily transforms the game into an endgame where he has 2 extra pawns, and after a very long fought battle, Capablanca resigns on the 84th move. Alexander Alekhine has just beaten the undefeatable José Raúl Capablanca and becomes the 4th official world chess champion. Alexander Alekhine had sent a rematch offer to Capablanca on the same terms of the London rules that he once had to go through. Capablanca could not raise the $10,000 and never played a rematch. Their relations got worse. Alekhine and Capablanca never even played in the same tournament for like 10 years because Alekhine had made a practice of declining tournaments where Capablanca was invited. As he was the world champion, Capablanca would be the one missing out big tournaments because you can't have a big tournament without the reigning champion. They only met after Alekhine lost to Max Yue. They played 3 games in total with each other after the World Championship, where the score was 1 win for Capablanca, 1 draw, and 1 win for Alekhine.